We got Mufasa and Scar. This is the second love triangle you've been in. Don't get typecast. We back with a new season, a new company, and an entirely new paradigm over at the morning show on Apple TV+. This is one of my favorite shows on the platform and just in TV in general. And it's the only show that can distract me from the giant hole in my heart that's still there from the newsroom ending too soon, which is my favorite show overall in life, period. And I'm about to start doing a rewatch of that, so come back and check that out. But right now, let's get into season 4, episode 1 of The Morning Show. So from season 3 to season 4, we got another 2-year jump, and a good deal of the cast are in completely different places than where we left them. A few are in the exact same position we left them, and that in of itself is going to be a point of contention this season. The merger between UBA and NBN went through. Stella is the new CEO, but Mia is in the same position she was in 2 years after.
Want to run the news division? Wow.
So right off the bat, there's some tension building there. And just in the first episode, we can kind of see Stella falling into kind of the same kind of tropes and same kind of behavior that we saw Corey do. Because there's just something about being CEO and being in this position that, you know, you got to make some concessions. You got to talk to people a certain way. And just the way she tries to handle Mia, because that's a small problem while she's trying to deal with a big problem, is the same type of thing we saw Corey do. And it seems like Stella might grow into being the thing that she was railing against. And speaking of Corey, he's over in Hollywood attempting to be a movie producer, which is so funny to me because he was so good at selling people a dream until he went to the city whose main exports is dreams made real. And I love Corey and I love his monologues, and I know that seeing him this down bad, even though it hurts my heart, means he's about to jump up. I don't know how he's about to come back into the story, but him starting the season off at rock bottom means he's got nowhere else to go but up. Now, even though Corey is in a radically different place than where we saw him before, Alex seems to be relatively in the same position. It just seems like she's in the same position, but has more of a voice. Like the people who are actually in charge will actually listen to her and let her talk before they go on to ignore her and do what they want to do anyway, which they've always done. But what's interesting is that even though professionally she doesn't seem like she's moved that much, personally she's now positioned in opposition to Bradley, which is a new dynamic that we're going to have to experience with this season, because we got Bradley to come back and fill in on TMS. And we find out that even though she went to the FBI, she turned herself in, they kept her name out of the news. They kept her involvement in what she did in January 6th under wraps. So as far as the public knows, that all that crash out she did last season was just about her brother, and she had nothing to do with that. And she's just kind of like faded to the background to go teach in West Virginia. And now they convinced her to come back into the spotlight. People who know all the context are worried, like Alex, especially because we're getting ready for the Olympics. And now we've started this international incident where Alex and the network are at the center of it. And then you're going to bring Bradley back into the mix. And I love Bradley, and I love how purely journalistic she is. And I love that she's coming back to uncover a conspiracy. But I'm conflicted for 2 reasons. Because one, this company doesn't need any more scandals. If what Bradley did comes out, I don't know how anybody would ever trust this network ever again. But, you know, I guess in real life, we got networks that people shouldn't trust, and they do. So who knows? The other reason I'm conflicted about Bradley is because if she comes back and she uncovers all of this, but her stuff comes out, then it's just going to undercut everything she's trying to do. Or that story she's trying to break, if her stuff comes out, is going to completely wipe that off the floor. Nobody's going to care about that if what she does comes to light. So unless she comes back, does all the work, and then gives it to another reporter like Nicole Bahari's character, then maybe that'll work. But Bradley being in the spotlight, we gonna see. Stella is the highlight of this episode, because not only did Stella get her groove back after Paul Marks by becoming CEO, but she's also got with Aaron Pierre. She's getting some, we've never seen her live a life. She got some personal stuff going on. But then we find out that Aaron Pierre is married to Marianne Cotillard, who is president of the board. Man, drama. And I'm calling it now. I think Marianne Cotillard's character knows about Stella and her husband. I don't think that she's walking around unawares. Now, whether Stella knows that she knows or not is to be determined, to be seen. But I think that this lady knows that Stella is sleeping with her husband. I think so. Now, my question is, what is Aaron Pierre's larger role for this season going to be? Because I don't believe that he's just here to facilitate the tension and drama between the two women. He's got to have some purpose or goal all on his own, but what is it, and how is it going to play into the larger craziness of everything else that's going on? But this was a good start to the season. The chess pieces are laid out well. We're dealing with AI. We're dealing with a cover-up. We're dealing with all these different interpersonal issues. I'm ready. So let me know what you thought about the premiere to the morning show and what your predictions are for the rest of the season. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it and come back next week and we'll get into it again. And I'll catch you guys next time.